Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days for today's second video, which takes around the 19th of August. So we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. That gets us towards the final stages of August now. How long at CFSV2 for September? At the end of the year. We're going to begin though by talking about the area of low pressure. It's bringing us a real battering of strong winds and heavy rain, or will be over the next 24 hours or so. Initially, right now, it's rain that's the story. Tomorrow, this will shift more towards wind, so that's where we're going to start. Just to say that January Friday has been released, and that's the month-end look ahead. You can find that video here on the homepage. Just scroll down a little bit further, and you'll find it above the polling count. We've redesigned the homepage at GazObvious as well, so I hope you're liking the new look of the GazObvious.com homepage. Right, so I'm going to start off by having a look at the satellite picture, the EU METSAT from the Weather Outlook. And we can see that at 8 o'clock this morning we had this big massive cloud sitting across northern parts of the country and also down into the east as well. You can see the clearance coming into Wales, southwest England, and then there's lots of showers waiting down to the southwest through the morning. This is how the satellite picture has developed. So this takes us to 11 o'clock in the morning, where the cloud has pushed northwards. So now we've got the band of cloud, the main area of rain sitting over Scotland. Clearance is coming across much of England and Wales. It's brightened up nicely. But they've got these thicker clouds coming into Ireland, Wales, and southwestern parts of England. And that thicker cloud is bringing the showers in with it. This is how the radar picture looks. So there's that massive rain sitting across Scotland, really torrential rain across some parts of Scotland right now. It's going to carry on moving north, but only slowly. So this rain is going to be on across a good part of Scotland through much of the afternoon. There's a clearance then through southwest Scotland, well, far southwest Scotland, just coming down into northern England and central east parts of England. But already got the showers beginning to get going across Wales and southwest England. Let's see if there's any lightning flashy away. So there's a few flashes there in across southern parts of Wales, otherwise not much of a way of lightning at the moment. But these showers are going to get heavier through the afternoon as they push eastwards, and don't be at all surprised if there's some torrential rain this afternoon. Some of these showers, risk of localised flooding and possibly even some hail and thunder mixed in. This is how Euro 4 is forecasting things to develop through the rest of today from metroshield.fr. We're starting at lunchtime, midday, so you can see the heavy rain forecast of Scotland has got that around just about perfect. Not really showing the showers as much across Wales and southwest parts of England, but then again, these models, even if they're high definition, as these models like Euro 4 are, if they're high resolution, I should say, despite that, they still struggle to play showers and thunderstorms and downpours, actually. So it's underestimating the showers that we've got at the moment across Wales, southwest England, but it's got the area of more general rain across Scotland just about perfect. For the rest of the afternoon, that persistent rain carries on across Scotland, showers breaking out through the afternoon and into the evening across parts of England and Wales. You'll notice really focusing them across the northern parts of Wales, but also some coming down into the Midlands and southeastern parts of England. There's some very bright colours mixed in there, indicating the risk of some torrential downpours in places, possibly hail and thunder too. But persistent rain still sitting there across northern Scotland, even into the evening. That's 10 o'clock this evening. Persistent rain sitting to the north of Scotland. Really heavy showers coming down into the northern parts of England, southern Scotland. Again, these could be thunderstorms, heavy showers into Wales, southwest England too. There could be some collapse of thunder mixed in. And then they push eastwards actually through the evening and overnight into parts of England and Wales, tending to become more focused out towards the west later in the night, perhaps with eastern areas beginning to go dry. And then, of course, the wind's going to get up. We shift the emphasis from heavy showers through tomorrow more towards wind across England and Wales, and gusts of wind tomorrow could be up to 50-60 miles an hour across some parts of West Wales, southwest England too. These are enough to cause structural damage with the trees being in full leaf, so we could well have branches breaking off as they're blown around by these strong winds, and that could cause a problem. Still heavy showers further north all the time though. Scotland and Northern England again, risk of heavy showers or thunderstorms through the course of tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. So a very lively 24 to 36 hours coming up. The winds will ease down as we get through into tomorrow, into Sunday rather, and the shower risk is more for sort of southern Scotland, North East England then. Shower risk beginning to ease down as we go into Sunday. Winds will ease down as well a little bit, and temperatures will start to fall away. So it's a really lively 24 to 36 hours coming up. Do take care if you're out and about in those heavy downpours, and tomorrow in the strong winds. Looking further ahead, the weather is staying unsettled. This is the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensemble for Northampton today. So red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average excuse me, for Northampton. Still quite warm today, but the temperatures are going to be lowering pretty much from now onwards as we go through the weekend into the early part of next week, going quite cool. Then we tick up a little bit there, and then we fall back, and then tick up a little bit and fall back. So a little bit of a zonal sine wave getting going through the course of next week, but all the time probably averaging out actually a little bit below average, and it's generally staying quite cool really even into the second half of the month and into the final week of the month, and also unsettled, so plenty of showers coming up over the next couple of days into next week. Got some really wet weather potentially there around the 13th, 14th, 15th of August, and then perhaps another dose around the 17th, 18th of August. So looks like a little bit of a deluge coming up, you have to say, over the next week to 10 days, and even beyond that, quite showery. Temperature anomalies are forecast to be a little bit below average from the 9th to the 17th of August, a bit cooler than average with the temperature anomaly. Precipitation anomaly is a little bit wetter than average coming up, so quite a cool, quite a wet week coming up really from the 9th through to the 17th of August. Rather annoying how these pages are refreshing as we're going along. This is how the GFS is looking for Monday. So rather showery on Monday, quite cool as well. Winds are coming in from the northwest into Tuesday. Another area of low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic. That could bring a more general area of wet weather Tuesday through to Wednesday. Maybe a slight transient bump of high pressure there on Thursday, just dry things out a little bit, but then low pressure begins to gather again as we get through towards the end of next week. We see these deepening areas of low pressure bringing further wet and windy weather in from off the Atlantic through to the 17th of August. Up to day 10, it's staying unsettled, so particularly for northern parts of the country, showers or longer spells of rain, maybe hints of a little bit of higher pressure down to our south across France, so possibly a little bit drier for the south at times, but overall this is an unsettled and relatively cool pattern that we've got setting up. Beyond day 10, staying quite unsettled too. Next deep area of low pressure rattles in there as we get through to around 22nd, 23rd of August. That's bringing more bounce of wet weather in from off the Atlantic. We finish up with the GFS 6 o'clock run looking like that on Sunday, 25th of August. So this is just a slight little transient bump of high pressure. But again, the Atlantic still looks buoyant here. We've still got low pressure to our north and west, so you would expect any ridge that's trying to get going there over the late summer bank holiday weekend, you would expect any ridge that's trying to get going to be quite quickly flattened off. This is a GEM, so again this one looks rather cool and rather showery once more as we get through to Monday. Lose the worst of the winds of course, but it will still be quite cool and quite showery. That's Tuesday. Again, it's looking pretty unsettled really, and then another area of low pressure heads in through the middle part of the week. GFS doesn't make quite as much of that area of low pressure, but again, just variances of the theme. Overall, it's looking very unsettled and changeable here as we're going into next week, with showers or longer spells of rain never far away. That's Saturday the 17th of August, a new area of low pressure coming up from the southwest. This one could contain quite a lot of heavy rain with it as well, depending on the exact track. That could give a soaking to some parts of the country. And we get through to day 10, which is Monday the 19th of August, and we're still looking unsettled, I'm afraid. Low pressure is very close to the country. The winds are pulling in from the north as well, so it's not great. It looks like we could see some pretty unsettled conditions continuing even up to day 10. Let's see what the ECM has to say. So, again, we're at Monday, 12th of August, this coming Monday. Rather cool and rather showery conditions. These unsettled conditions lasting to middle of next week. Low pressure, new area of low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic around Tuesday, Wednesday. Could bring a further bout of wet weather. That one clears way to the North Sea on Thursday. A slight little transient bump there of high pressure for Thursday through to Friday, but more low pressure is downstream in the Atlantic. That heading in as we get through to Friday through to Saturday. So this is Saturday 17th of August. It's looking unsettled again with low pressure rolling in from off the Atlantic. Heading up to day 10, stays unsettled. Low pressure is going nowhere fast, so further showers or longer spells of rain. That will be drier, sunnier interludes in between these bands of rain. So it's not going to be continuously pouring with rain every single day in the next 10 days. Things will turn a little bit drier and warmer at times, but they're just weather windows really in between bouts of wet weather. So overall, it's quite a cool and quite a changeable spell coming up. This is very annoying how these pages are refreshing as we're going along. So let's have a look at this. This is the ECMWF ensemble scenarios. Losing me train of thought with these websites updating. Very, very annoying how they're refreshing. So let's try that again. These are the scenarios that we've got on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 19th of August. We have 26 members of the ECM ensembles that have below average heights, low pressure over and to the east of the country. They're bringing in the jet stream as well at day 10. It includes the control and the operational run. They're cool and unsettled, and there's 26 of them doing that, so very unsettled with those ones. 13 have low pressure through the country from off the Atlantic with the jet stream coming through like that. So again, they are going to be unsettled, not quite as unsettled as the 26 we have here, but they are still unsettled. Showers along the spells of rain. And then 12 are raising heights just a little bit to the southwest. Low pressure is out to the northwest and also to the northeast. So trying to settle things down a little bit for the south of the country with those 12. But even there, still generally a bit on the unsettled side. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 24th of August. Today we have 13 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights to our south and below average heights up to the north. So trying to dry things out for the south, still a bit unsettled in the north, still relatively cool, but at least they're turning things a bit drier. 11 with below average heights to our east and also to our west. They're generally quite cool and showery. 10 with a trough of low pressure through the country, so again they're going to be very unsettled. 9 with low pressure to the north and high pressure to the southwest. That's a slightly drier option. And then 8 with low pressure just centered out to west of the country, and again they'd be bringing in westerly winds and they'd be unsettled. So there's a chance, it's a minority option, there's a chance that as we go towards the bank holiday weekend, we might start to dry things out and settle things down. However, the majority of ECM ensemble members, I think, are still looking quite unsettled, even in 2 weeks' time. Finally, and we've actually got to a website that hasn't refreshed as we've got to it. So this is the CFSV2 700 millibar height anomaly for September. Is what it's showing today. So it's going for above average heights with a 700 millibar height anomaly for September, and not an anomalous area of above average heights just out to our west and northwest. So there's high pressure out to the northwest, no particular trough of below average heights, but with the ridge in that position, you would expect low pressure to be through there and possibly through there. A trough within the 500 millibar flow looks very likely to be, so the jet stream could be doing something a little bit like that. And again, if we come over here, a little bit like that. So the upshot is, although it doesn't show a trough of below average heights there for September through the north and west and central parts of Europe, that could actually see us stuck under a trough of low pressure for September, and therefore we could have a relatively cool and relatively unsettled month. Temperature anomaly for September from the CFS-V2 is about average. I would expect it will probably be a bit cooler than that. And precipitation anomalies from CFS-V2 for September are again about average. I expect it to potentially be a little bit wetter than that. Sometimes you have to read between the lines and interpret with these long-range models. There wasn't any particularly evident trough of low pressure, trough of below average heights over the north and west of Europe, but with the ridge over the North Atlantic and up towards Greenland, you would expect a trough to be stuck underneath it to its south and east. And to me, that looked like it could be actually quite a cool and quite unsettled, maybe even quite wet signal for September. We shall see, that's all very speculative, but certainly the next week to 10 days is going to be unsettled. And even as we look out towards like the final week of August, encompassing the bank holiday weekend, there's no real sign of anything definitively drier. So the wait continues to see a break in this unsettled weather. Don't forget to check out JMA Friday, which has been released, and it's on the homepage, the newly designed homepage at Gazworthy, so have a scroll down and you'll find it just above the bottom account. Tomorrow, we've got weekend forecast, of course, week to 10 day video update will be coming up tomorrow as well. Sunday, autumn analogues, and we'll have Gazworthy's Sunday roundup. At some point over weekend as well, we're going to do the first update for the late summer bank holiday weekend. We'll be through the GFS time frame over this weekend for that. Tonight I might have a little look at a few events coming up next weekend. Not this weekend, not tomorrow and Sunday, but the following weekend, if I've got time. So just look out for that. It's possible I won't do it, but if I've got time, I'll bring you back later on this evening. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.